Hi. It is Wednesday morning, and for me, um, and today I think I would like to talk about forgiveness. Forgiveness is something I struggle with, and I know many of us struggle with forgiveness. Not necessarily in forgiving others, but in forgiving ourselves. When we do something we don't like, or we say something we don't mean, or whatever it is, we need to learn to forgive ourselves, give ourselves the grace that we give others. We teach our children to apologize, to accept, and to move on. But as adults, we struggle with moving on from the mistakes that we make. We find ourselves lingering in guilt, shame, sometimes misunderstanding. And we need to give ourselves more grace. We need to allow ourselves to be human, because we're all human and we're all doing this for the first time. We're all experiencing this life for the first time. And nobody is going to succeed perfectly the first time around. You don't pick up a new hobby and immediately know how to do everything. You don't immediately succeed in what you're creating. Sometimes we get lucky, and we do, but most of the time it takes work. And it takes work to forgive yourself. It takes time to practice loving yourself, because we don't give ourselves the same grace we give others. We don't love ourselves the way that we love others. But if you can forgive another for their mistakes, why can't you forgive yourself? And the saying, forgive and forget, we don't ever forget our mistakes. We don't forget what came of it. We just forget the pain. When we apply forgiveness, we are overcoming the pain of the experience. We are allowing ourselves to feel that and to let it go. And it goes back to emotions, where you need to feel them, allow them to be, and then let them pass. And forgiveness is the same. It is a feeling of grace. And when you allow that grace, you allow yourself the ability to move forward. So you messed up today. You made a mistake. Do you let it ruin your entire day or your entire week? Do you let it linger for months? Do you let it linger for years and let it bother you? Or do you Admit, I made a mistake. I am human, and it's okay to make mistakes. And then learn from the mistake. Learn what you don't like about the behavior that you displayed. And then learn to move forward. Tell yourself, next time I will try harder. Next time I will approach it differently. And maybe next time comes and you don't approach it differently. Maybe you didn't necessarily forget the last time, but you're forgetting to give yourself grace. You're forgetting to allow yourself to feel the feeling that arose, that triggered that behavior. And if you don't allow yourself to feel that, you can never overcome it. We just so often forget that we are human. As adults, we get so busy trying to maintain others, trying to uphold others, trying to help others, when we need to be helping ourselves. We need to be giving those same opportunities to ourselves. When someone wrongs you, it's an opportunity for forgiveness. And 9 times out of 10, you're going to give them that forgiveness. Because the forgiveness doesn't just help them, it helps you. It doesn't just allow them to move past, it allows you to move past. And in moving past, you grow. And growth is all you need. Just grow a little bit every day. I have a hard time forgiving myself, and I know this. I have one behavior that truly bothers me, and I cannot seem to shake it. And no matter how hard I try, it just feels like I have no control over the reaction. And when I react out of that emotion, I feel shame. Because it's not who I am. And it's not who I want to be. And I think shame stops us from allowing the forgiveness. We feel guilt, and that guilt doesn't let us forgive ourselves. But I'm practicing. I'm practicing allowing myself grace. And I still get upset, and I still hurt over my behavior. But each time it happens, it's a little less. Because consciously, I'm making a decision to improve the behavior. And in doing that, I'm already offering myself forgiveness, and all I have to do is accept it. And that's all you have to do. Accept your own apology. Allow yourself forgiveness. You wouldn't allow your child to sit in their shame. You would teach them that it's okay to be human and that it's okay to react how they react, but also how to move forward. And if you can teach that to your child or to anyone else, it means that you know how. You know how to forgive and move on. You know how to give grace. And yet we don't. We don't allow that for ourselves. And we need to. We need to be able to move past our own mistakes. Because if we can't, we just stay stuck. We continue to make those mistakes because we haven't resolved it within ourselves. And if you leave things unresolved, they don't get better. If you don't allow yourself to be forgiven, you can't get better because you're stuck in that shame. You're stuck in that guilt. And shame and guilt bring on resentment towards yourself. You begin to resent the way you act, the things that you say, the things that you do, not because they're wrong, but because you learn to dislike them. And it's okay that you dislike them. If they're not good behaviors, you should dislike them. But you still need to allow yourself to feel how you feel. You still need to allow yourself to react how you need to react. And sometimes we react out of a place of wounding. Most of the time, we react out of a place of wounding. I know that when I show the behavior that I do not like, it's because I am unheard. And that is a trigger for me. Because being unheard is something I have fought with my whole life. People have never understood the things that I say. People have never taken to heart the things that I ask. I always felt invisible and questioned if my voice was just a weird tone that nobody could hear. But that's not the case. It's just when someone doesn't understand, it hurts. And it pokes at you. And if you feel unheard, you get louder. But each time I get loud, the only thing that happens is that I feel wrong. Because I'm not a loud person. I'm a soft person. And when that hurt person comes out, I immediately chastise myself rather than giving myself forgiveness for reacting out of pain. And forgiveness doesn't say that you accept the behavior. It doesn't say that you accept what you said and that you accept how you reacted or what you did. It doesn't mean you accept the mistake. It just means that you acknowledge it, and that in acknowledging it, you can see it for what it is. And when you can see it for what it is, you can allow yourself to make peace with it. It might take time. I know for me it takes time. I'm hurt first before I can allow myself that forgiveness. And I sit in my hurt because that's what I'm used to. Sitting in my hurt alone. It's what I did my whole life. Because being alone in your hurt feels like protection. Feels like safety, like you're keeping yourself from the world. And that's not what you need to do. You don't need to keep yourself away from the world just because you made a mistake. You need to forgive. And you need to move forward. Because moving forward is the only way you can go. And you can choose to move forward with grace, or you can choose to move forward with shame. Either way, you're going forward. Because what happened yesterday happened. And you can't change it. You can't fix it. But you can say, I made a mistake. Today, I will be a better person. And then you strive to be a better person. And to not let your hurt allow a behavior to show itself. And it gets easier as you know what triggers you. It doesn't mean the behavior stops. It doesn't mean that you react differently every time. It just means it gets a little better. I know for me, I still don't like my behavior. But looking back, I am very mild compared to how I used to be. I take longer to get to that point. It takes more to push me towards that reaction. And I think our reactions are worse when we're home, when we are safe in our environment. Because when we feel safe in our environment, we allow ourselves to be who we are. Whereas if we're in a place where we're uncomfortable, even if that emotion arises, we hold it back. And that tells us that we are able to do it. We are able to control that emotion. But when you are safe, your wounds surface. And when your wounds surface, you react. Especially with people that you love. Because sometimes it's out of a place of hurt of how can this person who's supposed to love me be poking at my wound? Why are they poking at my wound? And then you're more hurt. And the reaction gets bigger. Just remember to forgive yourself for everything you do. Everything you say, everything you do, all your emotional reactions. Just allow yourself to forgive. Tell yourself I am human. I have wounds. I have emotions. And it's okay. Because it is okay. And in forgiving yourself, you can keep going. You can push on. And that's what you want to do. You don't want to stay stuck. You don't want to move forward out of shame or guilt. Because when we move forward out of shame and guilt, we are just putting on our mask. We aren't showing the world who we are. We're hiding. And you can't hide forever. Because hiding gets you nowhere. Hiding doesn't allow you to move forward in life. And you can't hide from yourself. You know who you are. You can't hide from that. You can hide it from others, but you can't hide it from yourself. And you are the one who needs to forgive you. It's okay to be human. Just forgive yourself.